Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is basically, talking about how things do get better. Um, Recently, I've seen in the media there's a lot of talk about bullying in high school to, the LGBT community, as well as just regular, stray kids. It's becoming an issue where, being slightly different is a problem, and it shouldn't be. And I wanted to make a video talking about this because it really gets to me that these type of issues start to become widely publicized in the media once it becomes a problem. This should be taken care of before it gets to the point where kids are just killing themselves left and right because of the fact that they're gay, or just because the fact that they're being bullied every day. No one deserves to be taunted or made fun of or abused on a daily basis just because of their choice in sexuality or their choice of what they want to wear, or their taste in music, or what have you. Because you know I remember back in high school, kids used to get picked on for the stupidest things. Not just for being gay, but other really irrelevant, stupid things that if you weren't part of the trendy, crowd, you're basically sacrificed for their amusement. And I remember back in high school that the first 2 years of high school, I was your quintessential straight female, or that's how I presented myself, which basically did not have any problem with anybody. I was pretty popular. I got along with everybody. And then when I decided during the summer of after my sophomore year, to decide to transition and come out and what have you, excuse me, um, that's when I became the social pariah of the school. And I got not only made fun of by students, but I also got made fun of by teachers. And luckily I had a group of friends that were basically the people that helped me throughout the whole time. But high school was a very, very, very dark, depressing period in my life. I did not enjoy it at all. At all. It was horrible. And I've had back in my senior year, there was a case where someone punched me in the face because I was trans, and we got into a huge fight and whatever. And it was a guy. He just basically decided that it was okay to just come punch me in the face because he felt like it. Uh, and a lot of times, these people that do that, it's out of their own personal insecurities, and it's sad that this day and age, people are lashing out because somebody's mildly different from them, and that shouldn't be the case. Now, what I find to be, you know, heartbreaking is that, we're rallying together to do this, to say these things to the kids, to the youth that are listening and watching us right now, that things get better after high school. But I'm not going to say it doesn't, because it's true. Things do definitely get better after high school, but the real world is hard because, you know, just like you have assholes in high school, you're gonna have assholes in the workplace. You're gonna have assholes, at clubs, at supermarkets, at movie theaters, at wherever you are. There's always gonna be an asshole. They're like bad. They're weed. They just sprout up everywhere like crazy. And it's something that luckily once you're out of high school you can avoid. You can just cut those people out of your life, or the majority out of your life, and basically start building your own little world. Like, basically, once you're out of high school, you have the ability to start creating the the surroundings that you want, the people that you want to keep in your life, the job, the career that you want. It basically becomes, a world of opportunities, which you do not have in high school. High school, you feel like you're being controlled and that there's no way out, and there's, nobody's gonna get you. And trust me, you know, most of the times, everybody else that's around you in high school probably feels the same way. It's kind of amazing that in a group, like a classroom full of people, you can feel so isolated and alone. And I realized that a lot of people feel that way in high school. A lot of people. I always wondered if I could have gone back in high school, if I would have reached out to some people back then. maybe things would have been a little bit better for all of us, if we could just reunite and come together and, admit that we have insecurities and that we're scared and that, you know, we're thinking these thoughts. And my best advice to the to the queer youth, to straight youth, because bullying happens amongst all genres of people, whether they're gay, straight, bi, trans, lesbian, whatever. um, my best advice is to hang in there. Things do change once you're out of high school. If you're having suicidal thoughts, please, please contact somebody, get help. It really, I know it seems scary, and the last thing you want to do is talk because you feel like the world's never going to understand how you feel. But trust me, there is somebody out there. There's always somebody out there that can relate to you and that can understand your feelings. And, anytime you need, to just get something off of your chest, if you feel like you can't talk to your parents, or that, the school counselor is not going to understand what you have to say, you can always contact us at this channel. You can contact me at my own personal channel, which I'll leave a link below, and all of us will be more than glad to respond back to you, give you advice, give you information on how to get help if that's how you're feeling, because I've been there. I've tried to commit suicide when I was 13, and I spent a lot of years of my life, mutilating my body, and it basically didn't get me anywhere. It just made me more depressed. And once I realized that I had to let go of those demons, that I had to embrace who I was, that other people's opinion doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't in the long run. Then things started to fall into place for me. And I'm not gonna lie, transitioning has helped me out quite a bit with my dysphoria and basically my general way of life. It's basically, everything's a lot better because of it. But um, it also takes, it's not just the transition that I'm going through, but it's also age and maturity and the people that surround me and the decisions that I'm making nowadays, that I'm living for me. I'm doing what I need to make myself feel good. And once you learn that your top priority in life is to make sure that you're okay above everything else, that you can love you and that you can understand the concept of being at peace with oneself, then again, things do get better. Life changes. It just takes time and a lot of patience, but it will end. High school does seem like one long bout through hell, but it's just 4 years of your life. It's a very small speck on the radar of what your life is going to be once you get out. And it's such a waste to see a young life extinguished just because somebody else feels like it's cool to, you know, pester their existence and abuse them just for their own pleasure. And those type of people, I'm saddened by them the most, because it's really sad to see that a human being has to degrade another human being to feel good with themselves. When you have to put somebody else down to feel better, then you also have a problem and you also need to get help. You also need to talk about whatever it is that's on your mind that's making you do this to other people, because bullying is not okay. Taunting people is not okay. Abusing people is not okay. It causes suffering. And unnecessary suffering is a tragedy. And it really just, I just, a lot of the times, luckily in high school, I was very hot-headed and I fought back. I didn't, anytime somebody tried to taunt me, since I'm kind of like the class clown, I always had a, come back, something, witty or sarcastic to reply back to that person. But I know a lot of you out there don't feel like you have that type of wit or, quick tongue, or just general fear of really voicing what you have in your mind. A lot of the times, if you're being bullied, it's better to just not confront them, because what they want is the confrontation. That's what really they want. They want the drama, they want the confrontation, they want the satisfaction to know that you got under their skin. But if you just kind of let it roll and kind of ignore it, then eventually they're not going to get pleasure out of bullying you, because it's no fun. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say, guys. This is my opinion about this topic. And again, things do get better, guys. I mean, it's not going to be, an instant, bout of amazement once you graduate. It's not that way. Trust me, you're gonna have to work hard to get what you want, but it's worth it in the long run. Once you get to a place where you're able to control everything, it's so worth it. So, we we appreciate your existence, and I really don't want trans youth or gay youth or lesbian youth or bi youth or straight youth to have to suffer and consider the thought of ending their life at such a young, precious age because somebody else thinks that it's okay to make fun of their differences. But, guys, just remember, if you need any help, if you feel like there's nothing left, find somebody, talk to somebody, talk to me, email me, send me a private message here on YouTube. I will respond right away. I respond to all of my messages. I will be more than glad to hear you out because trust me, I've been there, I've done that, and I'm a survivor. And I'm letting you know that it's the best decision I ever made to just stick around and see what happens. So, anyways, guys, have a nice rest of the week, and I'll catch you later. Peace.